Joining us now is Nicole. I am so elated to have her here. We're going to be talking about vintage, luxury vintage. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you so much. I'm great. So happy to be here.
So when you got a chance to look around our dressing room and everything here, what were your thoughts?
Definitely got the vibe that you guys were going to love my stuff.
And we do. So Nicole, what is the Vintage New Yorker?
So we are an online luxury boutique. We sell all pre-owned and vintage luxury items. And when I say luxury items, it's pretty much designer accessories, handbags, and shoes too.
Okay. So now, when something is pre-owned and but also very gently worn, right? That's the best.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
How do you source your items?
So we have a number of different ways we collect our items from, which is actually how we get, I think, in my opinion, the most unique and amazing pieces. Sometimes we are using auctions, estate sales, and then we actually do even have some wholesalers that we work with. Believe it or not, those exist.
Now, what was your own first purchase for yourself?
So actually I have an example of one today. The first vintage bag I ever bought was a Chanel Classic Flap. So it's a pretty popular style for anyone who's into pre-loved items. And they are actually a pretty exquisite investment piece now too. So they're very sought after, but I really just liked the classicness of the style. And it's kind of what inspired the brand, that bag actually.
So around one bag built your entire company.
A little bit, yeah.
I love that. Okay, so what was it about this particular thing aesthetically that just caught your eye, that made you want to be able to fashion it off?
Yeah, so for anyone who doesn't know, it's a really historic and classic style. It actually was one of the first handbags ever invented to have a chain. So before that, women actually held their purses. So
like
kind
a
of
pocket.
Yeah,
right.
really cool piece of kind of like women's style history there. But it's been an iconic piece for years and years, and it was something I wanted as my own collector's item. And I actually had a really hard time from a customer experience lens finding a pre-owned one from a brand that was giving me all the information I wanted.
Okay.
So it kind
what
of inspired
information
me.
do you provide to your clients?
So we give a lot of history on all of our pieces. I really like to share any date information, any pre-owned information, a lot of information about the style that some people may not know. So we definitely do our research, and then a lot of information on the actual status of the bag and the care of it. So we will grade all of our items on their condition, and then if customers want to actually reach out to us and request more photos or videos and can I see an up close look at that nick, we will actually provide that for them.
Wonderful. So it's very customer friendly.
Yes.
And then what have you heard in response? Because I know you have a lot of testimonials, like it arrived perfectly, or that they took it to the wedding or on that special trip, that special honeymoon experience that they had.
Right.
Because that's really, I believe, what it's about too. Having that accessory that when you walk into a room, just like a statement piece, right?
For sure. It's a very personal thing.
So what unique items have you had come through your fingertips?
Oh my gosh. So some of my favorites have been, actually we were talking about, we also do private sourcing. So some of my favorites are those personal pieces. I actually had a bride contact me and request vintage Chanel earrings for her wedding. So we did find some pretty rare vintage Chanel white pearl earrings for her, which were one of my favorites. And then some of the older materials have been my favorite too. We've had some exotic bags come through, which because of sustainability and animal cruelty, a lot of brands don't do that anymore. So it's been fun to actually touch some of those older pieces and these materials that we no longer make for good reason.
And when you do have some items that are vintage, maybe somebody hands something down, generation after generation to generation. How do you, I guess, protect the things that you already do own?
Yeah, so care is something else that we're working a lot on. We're trying to pivot our social media now actually to be more focused on care of items so that people understand. And these materials, many of them are luxury status, but they're also natural. So just learning about the difference is between care for leather or an exotic or suede, because they are
don't put
all
window
cared for
cleaner
differently.
on your leather.
Yes. Definitely no window cleaner.
But you know what? I think that happens a lot of times and people just don't know. I remember being a young bride and trying to put some sort of cleaner on a carpet and it turned the carpet purple, right? And I was like, and had I read the care tag, and I would have said, oh yeah, you don't use this on this particular type of fiber. Did not know. So those are things that you also help your clients with.
Yes,
right?
We're very getting very much into education these days for that exact reason. It would break my heart to see that happen to a bag.
Yes,
so.
me too. And what has the response been from your family and your friends and things like that? That this is like your new vibe, Nicole.
Oh, they're very supportive. I can't even thank my friends and family enough. They love the idea and they think it's very me, which is very true. And it's also a lot of fun to be around. Some of my friends and family have been my top clients, so that's always fun as well.
I can see that. And you also work with, out of the country types of things too. Tell us about that before we close.
Yeah. So we do actually, we're available now not only on our own site, but also on the Accessory Circle, which is a British-based luxury shopping site and secondhand shopping site. So we're starting to branch out a little bit more as we've seen European influence as well.
And have you made a lot of friends, a lot of pen pals from all over the country so far?
Yes, that has been the most amazing part of the whole experience. I wasn't expecting to make all these connections, and it's just been so fun getting to know other people in the fashion industry and entrepreneurs.
I love that. And tell us about the items that you have here before you wrap.
Yeah. So I have a vintage classic Chanel flap, as I was mentioning before.
But it's yours and it's not for sale, right?
I actually do have one in my shop for sale.
You do?
This one happens to be mine, but
Okay.
I do have a similar quality one in the shop, which is really exciting.
Okay.
We also have an Hermes clutch, which is another just really classic piece. This one happens to be a little bit newer. It's from 2015, but the leather is grained Epsom leather, so it's a little bit more rare to find, which is fun. And we always like a fun pop of pink. We have a more early 2000s Louis Vuitton style here. They no longer make this shape, so I absolutely love it.
I love that shape too.
Yeah.
Would you call it a bell? What is that called? Is it a flared?
So I've been
I forgot
kind
what
of
it's called.
talking to it as like an inverted triangle. It just
Okay.
like that base gives it a little bit wider, so it's a little more usable. You
touch
feel
it?
things. Yeah, go
My
ahead.
hands are clean.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I think this might have to come home with me, but
It's quite functional.
it is quite functional and it's very beautiful and very classic. And that's what you were talking about. You were talking about luxury vintage finds,
For sure.
right? That are going to, be an heirloom someday. So stay tuned for more. We've been living it up with Nicole. If you're into vintage, like I'm into vintage, please check out our website. Be well. So cute.
Thank you.